Welcome back, everybody, to the Rob and Ace and Rob show. I'm Ace. With me, as always, is Rob. We're going to get right into the topic today. Before we do, remember, like, subscribe, hit all those buttons, do all that YouTube action you're supposed to do. The topic we're going to talk about today, it's two. It's a smaller topic that leads into a broader topic. It starts off with Rob. We talked about it earlier. I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but
I didn't see the whole thing, but I definitely saw enough of it.
Okay, I was going to say, because Monique came under fire recently. She put out a video, and it wasn't like she was, clowning people or telling people, what to do. She kind of was just advising, like, hey, maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that. This isn't really presenting yourself in the best manner. This isn't the way you should present yourself to the public. Things like that. What the older generation should be doing, like guiding the youth. Like, hey, I made these mistakes when I was younger. Don't go down the same road. So don't wear bonnets when you're out. Don't wear pajamas when you're out. Dress like you want to be represented, not like you just don't care about yourself.
Right.
And she came under fire for basically saying what I don't know anybody who would disagree. Like, most people would say the same thing. Like, don't leave your house if you're not, like, I can understand if you're going to get the newspaper, or you're going to the mailbox, or you're cleaning your car, doing something like around the vicinity. But if you're going out, put on some clothes. If you don't want to do your hair, put a hat on or something, like anything. Like, is that unreasonable?
No. And the thing is if you followed Monique's career, this particular video would strike you as maybe way more reasonable than what you're used to from Monique. Her style of comedy is not my cup of tea. Her persona.
Yeah, we agree right there. No, I'm not the. I think she's better at acting than comedy. I've never been a fan of her comedy.
Probably. I mean, I've never seen any of her movies, but she doesn't fit my style. So I've been critical of what I've seen of her in the past, but this is completely not what I would be used to. And it's what it is. I mean, she's older than she was, and she really put this out there, and it seemed like she had genuine concern for her community.
Exactly. Like, and it wasn't all you bitches is look despicable. It wasn't, oh, y'all look like hoes. It wasn't like the Bill Cosby dress down. Like, any black person knows that there's a difference. The Bill Cosby dress down is looking down on you. It's talking to you like you're a child. What she did was respectful.
Ironic, but...
Well, not that type of Bill Cosby talk down. We're talking about when he talked to people, talked about black people, not what he, went to jail for. But he would be demeaning. He would be disrespectful. He would talk down to you again, like he was better than you. And she was just talking, like, it seemed like from a place of genuine concern. Like, you should hold yourself in high regard. You should be respectful of yourself. You're not dressing up for anyone else but you. It's not you're not trying to get dressed up to go find a man, or get dressed up to, impress somebody. It's for yourself. You don't want to look raggedy because you respect yourself and your body. And
I'll say this. Coming from the perspective of, like, I do coaching, right? Like, this is all related. Like, so yeah, I do coaching in a fitness, in a gym, in a martial arts environment, but the concept is the same. And I'm older than the typical demographic student that I train with, so I find myself in that position. So whenever I am giving advice, when I see a kid who's like messing up, and this will be more life stuff, even, because it all translates. If you've ever received advice from an older family member and it's critical, but it's needed, that they care about you, and they're gonna they're gonna come from that loving place, that family place, and they're gonna be like, listen, young man, you got to stop doing this, or
yeah, because it's much easier to just not say anything. Like, if they're taking the effort Like I could easily look at you and talk shit in your head, talk shit in my head about how you look, and talk to my girl while she's there, or talk to somebody like, look at this ugly, look at walking around with a goddamn bonnet on her head and pajamas on. And I could say, but it takes much more effort to say, hey, maybe you don't want to do this. I've been down that path. I've made wrong decisions. How about do this so you don't do that stuff? Because perception is reality.
Right.
Like if you dress a certain way, people are going to assume you act a certain way. It's the old Dave Chappelle joke. If I'm walking around with a cop's uniform on and you're getting robbed, you're going to look at me for help. That doesn't mean I'm a cop. I just have the uniform on, but you're going to assume based off my appearance that I am a cop. If you are walking around in broad daylight at 3 p.m. with a bonnet, house shoes, and pajamas on, I'm going to think you weren't raised properly or that you're mentally deficient. Like maybe she's just not all there. That's point blank period. And it's the same thing. Like it applies to men too. If I see a man who's 438 pounds wearing a muscle shirt, homeboy, what are you doing? Like first lose weight, and then secondly, dress appropriate for your weight. Like you don't do that.
I can't believe like in 2021 we're still dealing with people with their like dudes with their pants off their ass, and now they're not even wearing like baggy pants with it anymore. So they're just wearing tight ass jeans with their pants off their ass. But
I've never understood. And again, we grew up when it became popular.
Yes,
like it wasn't around before our generation. It became popular from us, and me growing up, I still never understood it. Like I grew up in that era. I've seen people do it.
This episode is going to be the old man episode.
It's not even
we're like on the porch talking junk about the next generation.
It's not even about old man. It's just about it's about
class. It's about class.
Having respect for yourself. Point blank, period. Like that's why I never did the whole pants sagging thing. I respect myself more than to show my underwear to just anybody. My ass crack and my underwear shouldn't be shown to just everybody. That's for the hoes.
Well, the thing is, our style of show might come under fire from time to time as might be mislabeled as misogynist. So because we're not,
we'd get lumped into that red pill, even though I'm vehemently against it. I deny that to 100% because I don't agree with a lot of stuff the quote unquote red pill community says.
Right, and so this is not part of what would be called the manosphere or malosphere, But the only reason that we're going to talk a little bit more about this deficiency, more so in the female community, is because that's what Monique was talking about. This is more of a response to her video because
and the point of the overall thing, it leads into a bigger discussion. Like to summarize what happened, she came under fire for that. Like she generally tried to give a loving, warm message to try to help and uplift.
She tried to put something nice into the world.
Exactly. And for people who don't realize, Black people are always clamoring about respect. That's something we do because we've been one of the most disrespected race of. We were created. We weren't just made. We are a created race of people. We were taken from our homeland, stripped from our past, and now we are a brand new race of people, specifically African American. We don't fully relate to Africa. We don't fully relate to America. We are in the middle. We have centuries of disrespect. And one of the things that all great Black leaders have taught is about earning and demanding respect. And you cannot earn or demand respect when you dress like an infant and you leave your house looking like garbage. Because the first thing I'm not going to do is respect someone who looks like that. No one will. It's just not going to happen. If you wouldn't let your kid come out of the house with their pajamas on if you're going somewhere. Like if your kid was 8, you wouldn't take him to Target with his pajamas on. You say, put your clothes on. Simple. If your kid wanted to go to school with his PJs on, put your fucking clothes on. What are you talking about? There wouldn't even be a topic of discussion, but you're doing it yourself. You can't demand respect if you don't do the things that are going to garner that same respect. Like I can't have a 350 credit score and say, hey, let me get $1 million bank loan. I don't qualify. And on the flip side, I can't demand respect from quote unquote the man if I look like I shouldn't be respected. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you agree with it or not, image is everything. The first impressions are the only impressions that matter. That's why sales is such a tough field, because you have to nail it that first time. 90% of callbacks in the sales field equate to nothing. They are meaningless. If someone says, yeah, call me back, you're never going to speak to them again.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Yeah, but let me speak to my wife and call me. You'll never hear from them again.
Yep.
First impressions are what matters. Image matters. Whether you believe it or not. Prime example, Black Panther movie. I've never seen so many proud Black people in the world. There were people who have no relation to this movie. There are people who are Black Brazilians, who are Jamaicans, who are Haitians, who don't understand fully the plight of African Americans. You may go through some of the stuff we do, but you can still trace your lineage. You can still say, hey, my last name comes from a family member.
Right.
Not something that was given to one of my slave ancestors. You still have a history. That movie had people coming to the movie theaters in African garb. It had little Black boys feeling powerful. It had little Black girls feeling respectful. Like everybody, every African American, every Black person, every person with a brown skin tone that watched that movie came out feeling a little bit better about themselves. So image matters. What we see, representation matters. And all she did was try to say, represent yourself better. And she came under fire. People were calling her disrespectful. She's talking out of place. Who are you to tell people what to do? And that goes into the larger.
I don't know. Someone successful?
That's what I'm saying. That goes into the larger.
I don't understand the question.
That ties into the question. Who can tell you what to do? Who can advise you without you fighting against it? Who can tell you a hard truth and not be flamed for it? Because I don't know anyone that can. Monique, kind of a controversial figure. Not really, but she's had moments. Like the whole Netflix thing was a big deal. She said some wild and outlandish stuff during a comedy. So granted. I don't know if you know this lady, Rob. Ayan Levanzan. Do you know who that is?
I feel like it sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
She's super famous. She was a life coach to Oprah Winfrey. And then Oprah put her on and gave her own show. And now she's like a life coach to everybody.
Okay.
She's literally at the top level of what we do. She's the apex. She's the top of the pyramid.
You know what? I think you mentioned her once on the show before also.
Yeah. And she came under fire twice in the last year or two. The first one was she was doing an interview and she was talking about women giving themselves away for free, giving themselves away easily, wasting their potential, not focusing on what needs to be focused on, but focusing on the irrelevant. And she got into, she basically said women today are out of pocket. And a reporter was like, what do you mean? You mean, no, make it clear. All women today, all younger women are out of pocket because they don't understand what it takes to create a family structure. They're doing things that are against the family structure when they should be doing things for them. And she talked about prioritizing career first. She talked about being sexually promiscuous. She talked about a lot of things that a mother would speak to a child about. She talked about a lot of things that someone who has 60 years of experience on this planet, who, if you look at her life story, has a crazy life, been through massive amounts of trauma, would be able to educate you on. Also, someone who's one of the most successful people in her field, period. Like, think about it. She was a life coach to one of the richest women on the planet.
Imagine that.
That's how knowledgeable she is.
Who do billionaires go to advice for?
Her. And she got flamed for saying that. And then like 6 months to a year later, they re-interview her and she holds her ground. She's like, I'm not that. I said what I said. It's the truth. I deal with people every single day. I deal with families. I deal with reconnecting families, reconnecting mothers to children, reconnecting husbands to wives. I do this for a living. I'm not talking out of nonsense. I'm not talking out of hyperbole. I'm talking out of factual conversations I've had with people, experiences. Women are out of pocket, and this is why. And she's telling you these are the things that you're doing that you shouldn't be focusing on, and these are the things that you should be focusing on. Gets flamed. Okay. So you have a controversial woman who can't tell you what to do. A woman who has no controversy whatsoever, who's at the top of her field, she can't tell you what to do. There was another, and Kevin Samuels brought this up recently on a show, I think it was like a week or two ago. He was having a discussion with a female life coach who has a group of women, and the female life coach said specifically she never got more pushback than when she was telling her group, which was primarily Black women, that they should focus on things that are more women like, that men don't want, masculine qualities in a woman. And when I say masculine, I don't mean muscles. I mean being argumentative, being demanding, fighting, the constant attitude, the domineering stuff, the focusing on the relationship as opposed to focusing on the family life. Men don't want that. She gets flamed. Kevin Samuels, his approach may be tough. I'll be the first one to admit. He talks to you like he's auditing your taxes. I'm just giving you facts. There's no emotion in this whatsoever. These are facts. Like he had a clip today on Vlad TV where
talking to you like a science teacher, and you're in like a fourth grade,
like the IRS auditing your taxes.
Yeah,
this is just numbers. I don't know you. I don't like or dislike you. These are the facts. Like there was a clip today where the interviewer talked about, he made a statement to a woman that she was bigger than a running back in football. She weighed more than a football running back and an NFL running back. And he said, well, you're condensing what I said, but what I said was factually accurate. She was 5'8", weighed 220 pounds. Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest running backs of all time, weighed 218. Barry Sanders, the greatest, if arguably the greatest running back of all time, weighed 203. They were both a little bit taller than her and weighed less. She weighed more than an NFL running back. It's just a statement of fact. I wasn't doing it to be mean, but facts are facts. As a woman, you shouldn't weigh more than a man at your same height. Men don't desire that. What I found interesting, and this is what ties into why people can't be told things that they don't want to hear nowadays, is the interview immediately went to the defensive mode. He immediately, and I sent you the clip, he immediately went to, well, some guys like BBWs, and I know there's a whole BBW culture out there. And it's this, just for the people listening, this was a male interview. This wasn't like a female. So he's saying something that even he wouldn't do. Like the guy who's doing the interview is a multimillionaire. He's not with his wife isn't a BBW. He's not with any woman that weighs more than him. Do some men like that? Yes. I've said it multiple times. I like big girls. Love them. I have no problem with a big girl, but I'm the anomaly. You put 100 men in a room, I'm probably going to stand out. When I say I don't really care about that. But even then, there's a limit. Like you can't weigh more than a running back. Let's be real. And this is what irks me about today's society. And it ties into this modern feminist bullshit. You want what you want when you want how you want it. And that's not how life works. Like you can't be a female that weighs over 200 pounds, wears pajamas out in public with a bonnet on your head, doesn't care about your appearance, but then be mad when men don't want you. And say, oh, well, men they just can't handle me. I'm too much of a woman.
Right. And listen, like you can attest to this, because I think you saw me at my biggest.
Yeah, you were good like what, 220, 230?
I was 250.
250. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not tall. You know what I mean?
No, that's what like me saying it, the 220, 230 maybe didn't resonate, but you're like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, I mean, I carry it well, and I still had some like I had some muscle underneath, you know. But
Yeah,
no,
it's called a stomach.
yeah, that's not where the muscle was. Like, belly was big. I was a round boy, and so I'm. It's important that I mention that because a lot of people, women in particular, are likely to maybe hear some of what I have to say and say that I might be on that misogyny playing field, and I'm not. It's when you say well, when he was comparing her to what you said, Emmett Smith.
Yeah, Emmett Smith and Barry Sanders. Literally, if you name the top 3 running backs of all time, they're going to be in the list somewhere. They may not be in the same order, but these are 2 well-known. No matter if you watch football, you know who these 2 people are.
Right. And so the thing is, I genuinely I believe this. I don't think a lot of women in this category really understand how big they've gotten. I'm being very literal. I'm talking about sheer, like, the size that they are.
I don't even think it's,
They don't know, like I'm gonna say it just out loud. 200, a woman, no woman under 5'10" should weigh 200 pounds for any reason, ever. Right now,
I will agree, because I know a woman who's 6 foot who's like 205, and I'm like, oh, she carries it super well because she's 6 feet tall.
right, like, and the thing is there are women who they got to 200, and there's women who can still be attractive at 200 pounds, even if they're too short for that weight. And then they get past that. They get to 220. And then some guys are still messing with them, and then they get to 240.
You cut me off because I was just about to say that.
You know what I mean?
These women know their size. They know what they look like. Like when you take off your clothes, there's no hiding it.
Right.
You are what you are. But the problem is there's guys that are fucking them.
Right. Well, not only that though, they get to a point of no return.
I don't see, again, this is where you become the good cop and I become the bad cop. I don't buy that shit. The point of no return is acceptance. You accept, like, there's very few things in life that we can control as human beings. You can't control the weather. There's a lot of times you can't even control your financial situation. You can't control whether you have access to a good education. You can't control whether your community is getting healthy food as opposed to being shipped fat shit all day long.
Right.
But you can control what you weigh. There's no, that's the laziest mindset. Like, I'm not saying you have to be muscular, but you can control whether you're in shape or not, because it's called exercise. You don't have to work out like The Rock. You can do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, and you'll never be overweight as long as you eat like a regular human being. That's why I don't give people like, oh, they're at the point of no return. No, I was watching this video, not even sidestepping, but it ties into this whole, you should accept me for as I am culture, as opposed to, no, something's wrong.
No, yeah, that's a bad mindset to have.
It's that modern
when I say the
shit.
Point of no return, I mean, like, when you get to 300 plus, it's like you don't even realize you've gotten that big. Now, from my experience, and again, I have a guy's brain, so it's different.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I used to watch that my 400 pound or my 600 pound life nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that show? Every time there was a female who was getting the surgery, she always had a man. Because men are pigs. We're creatures of convenience. We're gonna fuck anything. And if a guy believes that's the best he can do, he's gonna do it. We would rather stick our dick in that than lube up our hands every night. It's just nature. And it's not even about love or all this stuff. It's a simple math equation. And the reason I say it's a math equation is you take that same guy, magically give him $10 million and see if he's still with that woman.
Right. Not going to happen.
Because he won't, because automatically he's going to, even though he doesn't have any qualifications to be in a higher status, all you did was give him the money. You didn't give him the class. You didn't give him the knowledge to keep the money. You didn't give him the wherewithal to behave around people that have money like that. He's automatically going to put himself in there because he has the money. He's going to start trying to get women who are hot. He may pay for it. He may do whatever he has to do, but I guarantee he ain't going to be with this 500-pound life. That's what I'm saying. The women that aren't at the point of no return. They're there because somebody is there with them. They're there because somebody's given them the life raft to hold on to, like that interview did with Kevin Samuels, like society does. There was a video another guy put out today where it was a woman doing like a vlog where she's looked at least 300 pounds. Hot 250, 300, something like she looked like a big girl. You could only see her face and her chest, but you could tell she like a big girl.
Right.
And she's talking about her friend who's 400 pounds, and her gynecologist, her regular gynecologist, was out of town, so she had to go to somebody that they recommended. And it was a female gynecologist who is examining her. And during the examination, she tells the 400-pound woman, hey, you'd be a good candidate for gastric bypass surgery. Not part of the examination, just, telling her like, look, by the way, you'd be a good candidate because you're young and this is a good demographic and your body can mold back in time and you can, live a healthy lifestyle, for a long period of time. You could have a healthy life instead of what you're dealing with right now. And she was offended. And she was upset. And then the friend who's also morbidly obese was upset for the friend who's more morbidly obese by a medical doctor, someone who went to college for 4 years minimum, then went to medical school for another 4 years, then did their residency, then got into their own practice. This is at least 14 to 15 years worth of work in this same field, is telling them information that is readily available that anyone should know. Being morbidly obese is unhealthy and will kill you. Here's a way to fix that. And she was offended. Why? Because society, you can go to any magazine cover in the past 5 years. If you go through them, you're going to see women who've never been on magazines before, who are, close to 300 pounds, 250 pounds, crazy amounts of weight. And the magazine is pushing it like, this is the new healthy you. Love your curves. Love your blah, blah, this, and that, and third.
Literally not healthy.
and that's the thing. It's not healthy and it's not helping.
I didn't look at myself in the mirror and say, oh, damn, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. What happened was I ate Popeyes.
I know the story. Tell it. Oh, it's hilarious.
And it was delicious.
As it always is.
Every single time. They have been batting 1,000 since the day they opened.
Once you get a recipe, you don't lose it. It's like learning a sexual technique.
And then
all you got to do is master it once.
And then I went up a flight of stairs and I said, what just happened to me? Right? And I had to sit for 45 minutes. And then I was like, yeah, I got to do something. This is not going to work.
Rock bottom.
I don't smoke. I'm not a big drinker. I don't do drugs. What's going to kill me? Barring some sort of bad car accident, it's going to be this.
The same
this
thing
that kills me.
The same thing that's 80% mortality rate in this country. Obesity. It's the biggest. Heart attacks and obesity are the biggest killers in this country.
No, that's propaganda, Ace.
No, it's facts.
You're trying to fit us all into a European beauty standard.
Yeah, the beauty standard called living
Yeah. They don't want to bang
Crisco
corpses
in your stomach.
Yeah, we don't we don't want to smash dead women.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's
Fat dead.
this goes into what I'm talking about. Who can this modern feminist bullshit has taught women specifically that no one can tell you how to live your life, boo. You do you. But you know what can tell you how to live your life? Your clogged arteries.
And your loneliness.
You know what can tell you how to live your life? The loneliness you're getting from not finding a quality man. You know what can tell you how to live your life? That you're 42, you're living alone and nobody wants you. Or that you're morbidly obese and you don't even think you're probably not even get to 42. Like, I'm all for curvy women. I love women who have curves, but there's a difference between curves and fat. Just like there's a difference between a guy who's a little husky and a fat guy. There's a difference. I don't want to hear this. Well, I just have a lot of curves and I'm busty. No. There's a body index. There's a body index for mass. If you're above it, more times than not, you're overweight. There are exceptions, but more times than not, the scale is correct. Again, if you're 6'1" as a woman and you're over 200 pounds, your body mass index may be a little bit off. They may show you as a beast, but you're probably not. I've seen women, there are women on Instagram who are curvy, who probably weigh close to what a man weighs because they have thick thighs and they have a little waist and fat ass and big titty and all that. They have what we're looking for and they're curvy. They're not skinny. That's curvy. What I don't see on Instagram is fat chicks. I don't see huge women in lingerie or in bikinis and all that stuff. Like, there was another example, and this one was more famous than any of the ones I just brought up. You should know who this is because you're in that same field. You know who Jillian Michaels is?
Yeah, of course.
Literally,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Her entire career is based on making fat people healthy. And I'm using the word fat because that's what it is. I don't want to say overweight or big boned or whatever PC culture. No, fat. Because some things should be shamed. Things that will kill you should be shamed. We don't call crack sprinkle fairy dust. We don't call heroin magic vacation juice. No, it should be called a horrible name because it's
we do now.
Magical Dreamtime juice. Like, horrible things should have horrible names so that way you know they're horrible. Yeah. Being fat is horrible because it's not horrible to me. You're not affecting me. It's horrible to you. You're hurting yourself.
It's not about how a person looks, although that is part of it.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I say. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not even talking about the physical fat of like how you're presenting as a person. I'm talking about what you're doing to your insides. You're killing yourself. And back to Jillian Michaels, she was on that The Biggest Loser show, yep. The entire show about taking people who are morbidly obese and not doing surgery, not doing it the easy way through surgery, but teaching them healthy lifestyles. Because contrary to popular belief, people that get that surgery generally end up fat again.
Yep.
Because they didn't change their habits.
Actually,
they just changed their stomach size.
A lot of the contestants from the show who lost a lot of weight also gained.
Yeah, because it's the same thing as why a lot of people who win the lottery become broke. You're not changing your habits. You're just changing the result.
Right.
And that's what this show was trying to do. Because again, I applaud shows like this. It's not about having a 100% success rate. A 10% success rate is a win. If you can save one person's life, that's a win. If you can teach one person, hey, live this lifestyle, it's going to be healthier for you, and they stick to it and do that, it's a win. I don't care if you lose 20 other people. That one person was worth the show. And that was her whole gig. She became famous for being a weight trainer, an advisor, and fitness advisor to healthy, wealthy people. And she goes on a show and they're talking about Lizzo, who's an overweight musician. Let's just call it what it is. You know what? I'm not even gonna speculate because the internet exists. Let's take a journey and just type in Lizzo's weight.
Lizzo's BMI.
Just wait. I'm just going to purely wait. Do, 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 do. I'm not finding a number. All I hear is this body positivity nonsense.
Wow.
Like literally, it says she's 5'10".
All right. While you're there, put in Jason Momoa height and weight.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This is as of. Why won't they just say her weight? All right, so I'm not a. Hold on, let me do this. Let me just go to Wikipedia. Now that people will say, you know what, I'm not going to go to Wikipedia because people will say, oh, that you can put anything on that site. So you do me a favor. Can you look up the Jason Momoa thing while I'm looking this up?
Yeah. We're doing some science on the fly right now.
Yeah. Because we want to be fair.
Yeah. And in doing this, we're going to actually prove that
January 9th, 2020, 308 pounds. That was a year ago.
Jason Momoa, literally in 4 seconds, I can find out he is 6'4".
Of course.
6'4", 214 pounds. But if you go to look for Lizzo,
I had to go through like 5 different sites to find something from a year ago.
We have to protect the egos of fat women.
Now let's and what was his weight again?
214.
And what is his height?
6'4".
Okay, so he's 8 inches taller and weighs almost 100 pounds less. Cool. So it's safe to say that she's morbidly obese. So the conversation comes up with Lizzo, and she's not. Jillian Michaels isn't even. She's known like the Simon Cowell of the show. She was the more brutally honest one. She was like, she wasn't even being mean. She said, I love the way she performs. I love her music, but she's going to die of a heart attack. She's way too overweight. She needs to work out. She needs to get in shape. Point blank, period. And they got on her case about saying something that we can visually see. Well, you don't know what she do. Look, she be on stage for 4 hours dancing around. She got to be in good shape. No. That's not how shape works. That's not how being healthy works. Just because you can be active for a period of time. Let me contradict
Jillian Michaels.
Someone who does this for a living.
Who's also in phenomenal shape.
And has been forever because that's her job.
No, actually, not forever, because the reason she got into personal training was because she used to be overweight.
I mean, as far as the personal training part, that's what I'm saying. Like, and the point I was going to make is no one goes to a fat personal trainer. She has to stay in shape. If for nothing else, then that's her job. I'm sure she does it for way better reasons. But even if you dial it down to the base reason, she gets paid off of being in shape, because if she's not in shape, she can't tell you how to be in shape. Just like you ain't going to listen to a broke person about financial advice.
Right.
If somebody drives up to you in a car with a boot on it, talking about this is how you save money. No, I don't want to hear what you got to say, homeboy. Just sell me DVDs out the back of your truck. That's what you should be doing.
Sell me one of them fake watches.
Yeah, sell me a Folex real quick for $28. This is, and that's, like I said, this is the problem with this modern feminist bullshit. You can't have it your way all the time. Life ain't Burger King. You can't say, I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and you should just accept it, and then complain about the consequences that go with getting to do whatever I want, however I want. Another example, and this might be the last one. Amber Rose, our favorite topic, the slut walk, the slut shaming, the hoe strolls, all the stuff that she used to do. You have a lifestyle that I don't know any culture praises. I've never met it. There's no culture in Eastern or Western civilization that has existed or has probably ever will exist that praises that culture. She grew up fucked up childhood, granted, becomes a stripper, granted, becomes quote unquote a video hoe, granted, starts to mess with rich people, was dealing with Kanye West, dealing with rappers, becomes accustomed to a certain lifestyle, but complains because these guys don't stick around. They don't stay. And it's because of this stigma of being a hoe just because I fuck a lot of guys. Why can't I be accepted just like the regular Molly homemaker? It's the same mindset. It's why can't I be respected as a woman who works out every single day, even though I'm eating 45 bonbons and 15 ring dings for breakfast? Why can't I be respected the same? You didn't put in the work, that's why.
Because people also don't respect things that are accomplished with ease.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's hard to not be a hoe.
It takes no ability whatsoever for a woman to go out and get penis. None. You don't even have to necessarily look good. All you got to do is wait long enough at any bar.
Just literally go there as many times as you possibly can. Eventually someone, it doesn't matter what, you could do the experiment. You could go in pajamas and a bonnet. Eventually some guy's going to do it.
By 2 a.m, there's an old phrase, nobody's a 4 or everyone's a 10 after 2 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah. When desperation hour hits, we make sacrifices. It's just a fact of life. But you won't get the regular satisfaction from that. It's the people who are in shape. Like, I praise you all the time for being in shape and staying in shape, because it requires a lot more effort than eating whatever you want whenever you want.
And by the way, for everyone listening, because we're coaches, staying in shape way harder than getting in shape.
Yeah, because you have to maintain it. It's the same thing with the lottery. Nobody respects a lottery winner for being rich. All you did was you won the lottery. It was a random chance, and you happened to pick the right numbers. Or inherited wealth. You didn't earn this. You didn't put in the work. This isn't something that you use through skill or by will or by grit. You just got it. There's no respect there. But the people who work their way up from the bottom get all the respect. This is why whole culture, this is why fat culture, this is why the culture of a woman getting out of bed in her pajamas and going to the store, as opposed to taking 10 to 20 minutes and making herself look presentable, aren't respectable. And it's stupid modern feminism. Not feminism, again, because we defined this last episode, not feminism, modern feminism, that tells you should be accepted as you are, and you should be treated just like everybody else without putting in any of the work that anybody else did.
I really like
that's just not how life works.
I like the phrase you just used, because you said, what was it? You should be treated like everybody else. Here's the
given the same amount of respect that everybody else without putting in any of the work everybody got to get that respect.
There's the misconception that everybody else who's getting that respect didn't have to do anything to earn it. And that's the biggest load of bullshit that we're feeding people today. There's some people who didn't earn what they're getting. And they still somehow get respect. Yes, but that is rare. And that is
that's the anomaly. That's not the majority. We don't deal like the Kardashians. We can talk about them. You fucked your way into millions. Great. Good for you. People
that's also a misconception. They fucked their way into fame, but they had money before
turned into millions, but they had money before. Like, Robert Kardashian was one of the highest paid lawyers of his time. Yeah. Bruce Jenner, who was the one before that, is an Olympian. He was the cover of a Wheaties box for years.
Yeah, and I'll even go deeper. Kim Kardashian was actually a really successful interior designer for famous people, including Paris Hilton. That's how she kind of got her leg into the door with celebrities.
And then she became a fame hoe.
Yes.
She would just hang around people 100%. And try to soak up that fame. Yeah. But even my point, even with them, as much money as they have, they aren't respected.
Nope.
There's no guys who like, yo, I wish I had the business savvy of Kim Kardashian. No.
I wish I had the savvy of
You want to
hiring
get fucked by
people
Ray
to
J?
tell me what to do.
Yeah, like you want to get you want to get thumb blasted by Ray J on video because that's what she did. Simple fact. It's just a statement of fact. It's what happened. It's just history. The point I'm trying to make is, if you want a certain respectability, if you want certain outcomes, then you have to do the work to get those outcomes. They aren't just going to happen. Like Jay-Z, who is the wealthiest rapper alive. 99% of rappers today would not do all the things that he's had to do to get to where he lives, get to where he is now. Like, you only see the finished product. You don't see all the hours in the studio. You don't see all the behind the deals negotiation. Like, one simple fact, when he started, they were one of the earliest rappers who refused a record label deal from a big label because they were being lowballed and it was a bad deal. They were smart enough to realize that. So they went independent, which is a much harder route, until they built up their own label. Then that label became successful. Then they had to continue. This was a long and arduous road. It wasn't something quick and easy. A lot of rappers flame out because you realize that you don't just get rich quick. Most rappers you know are broke. They don't make money. I broke down a few episodes ago about how the record industry works, about record deals. People don't even realize that going into it. You don't even know what you're getting into. The work is what makes you respectable. And if you're not willing to do the work, then don't complain about the outcomes. And if you are mad at the outcome, don't complain when somebody who has done the work tries to advise you on what you should do.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, we're going to tie this in like magically.
We're
about to bring it full circle.
Back to the main topic. The main topic is, you have these people who have done the work, who have earned the respectability. Again, Ayanna Von Zant life coached Oprah Winfrey. She's been to the mountaintop. She's done the work. Monique, wildly successful, whether you like her comedy or not. You can't deny her success. Jillian Michaels, any of the other, Kevin Samuels, any of the other people that I brought up in this conversation, they've done the work to be respectful. Don't be upset with them when they're telling you what you need to do to get respectful yourself. So that's all we got for today. Guys, take heed. Women, of course, it's all love. Again, this was not a beatdown session. It comes from the same case, the same point where Monique and all these other people came from. It's a point of love. It's a point of wanting better for ourselves and our people.
What's the phrase we always say? Like, they'd be shocked to understand that we're on their side.
Yeah. When you boil it down to the root of the message, we're just trying to make things better. We're on your side. We're not against you. Take the advice or not. But at some point, if you're not going to listen to the people who've done the work, who have made themselves wildly successful by doing the actual hard labor, who are you going to listen to? And how are you going to change your outcome? How are you going to gain that respect? Especially, and I'm specifically talking to Black people, men and women. Like you said, white kids don't sag their jeans. Little white boys ain't sagging their jeans. Little white girls ain't wearing bonnets and walking outside in pajamas. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to my people, because we can't demand respect from people if we don't do the things that garner respect from people. So that's all we got for this week. We'll be back again. Guys, again, like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. Signing out one more time. This is Ace. I'm with Rob. We're going to catch you on the flip side. So see you when we see you.